We are Team 14. For our midterm report, our goal is to develop a graphic user interface with MATLAB, which displayed the current temperature, average temperature, and time data was recorded. Using our previous circuit design from Lab 4, we utilized App Designer in MATLAB to create a GUI, which would allow us to control our circuit via the functionality of a start, stop, clear, and save button to collect data for a total of 3 minutes.
For this lab, we connected wires, a resistor, the LED light, and the temperature sensor to the Arduino board, and we used MATLAB to design a code that allowed us to record the temperature after clicking start and make it pause after clicking stop.
Collect data for a total of 3 minutes.
So we start and read room temperature.
We're going to read room temperature now for 30 seconds. Once it reaches 30, we're going to heat it up. You see there the temperature is rising. Now once the marker reaches 60 seconds, we're going to release it, and it'll go back to room temperature. Once it reaches 90, we're going to cool it down, and it should fall below the threshold. So you can see there, it went down in temperature, but it never fell below. Now it's displaying cold. And once it reaches 120 seconds, we'll let it go back to room temperature for a total of 60 seconds. Once we reach 180, we'll stop it, and Diane will show all the functions of the buttons.
That's around 180, okay. So we can stop it, and once we stop it, room temperature turns black, and then this turns gray. It was previously white, and it says inactive. It displays the current temperature and the average temperature. We can graph on top of this graph. Let me change the temperature so it shows. There it is. We can stop it again. We can clear it. And then we can start it again.
So basically, as Daniel said earlier, we use our knowledge from the previous lab and the circuit from the previous lab to design this GUI, which is more interactive, and it combines the previous lab with actually new interactions, such as clear button and save graph, and we were able to incorporate more data, such as data, the date collection, and the current temperature and the average temperature. And as observed, it's quite simple to use, and a person with basic knowledge to be able to utilize the circuit once the app is designed.
The last function that I would like to show is that we can save the graph or the GUI if we press Save Graph. We can say Graph 1, and then we can save the GUI. Then we will see it here. The GUI here, and the graph here. And then if we clear, stop and start it, here it says 927, which is when we started. If we start it again, it will update to 929. And the date will update as well if we did this on another day.
We're going to show now how our GUI functions in conjunction with our circuit on the Arduino. When we run this program, we can see that the temperatures are in 0, temperature alert and inactive button are gray, and we don't have a date here. So if we start running it, we're going to run exactly the same experiment as before. 30 seconds at room temperature, it's going to be green, and this now says active. It's measuring our current temperature, and it has today's date and time. Once it reaches 30, I'm going to touch the thermistor to increase its temperature, and the light is going to turn red. Both the RGB light on the circuit and the lights on the app, the virtual light, are going to turn red. There we go. Reach 60, I'm going to let it go, and it's going to go back to room temperature. When we reach 90, I'm going to touch it again. I'm putting my hand on a frozen bottle so that I lowered the temperature of my hand. And then I'm going to touch the thermistor, and it's going to lower, and when it passes the threshold, it will turn blue. It turns blue. Now I'm going to continue touching it until 120. Now I'll let go, and I will let it run until 180. And it will slowly go back to room temperature. It seems to have reached 180. Now we stop it. The light turned off on the circuit. And we can save this, save graph. We're going to name it A, and we can save the GUI. We're going to name it AB, and we can also clear the date. We can clear the data. We can graph again. We can stop it, clear. We can also graph on top of the previous graph. We can exit, which will close this window, or we can quit all, which will quit all MATLAB. Now we're only going to exit.